Like, I can't even say the word Me Too anymore. The nigga tonight was like, Dave, I'm going to the comedy club. I was like, I am also going to the comedy club. But then she hit me with one of them fake non-smoker calls. So I just kept smoking. I thought to myself, that babe will be fine, relax. I'm sure there's a lot of gay men here tonight with their wives.
Dave Chappelle didn't go looking for war with woke culture. It came looking for him. Every time you think the internet has finally canceled him for good, he shows up with a new special, a nastier punchline, and a crowd laughing even harder than before. Today we're diving into the time Dave Chappelle destroyed the warriors of performative outrage, and we're starting with one of the wildest misunderstandings of his career.
Another time, about 6 years ago, there was a lesbian woman that tried to sell a story about me to TMZ. Thank goodness TMZ could see right through the sham of that story. This woman claimed that I beat her up in a nightclub because she was a lesbian. That is f***ing crazy. Bitch, I didn't even know you was a woman. Thank God TMZ didn't believe that, because I did beat the shit out of her, I'm not gonna lie.
And here's what really happened.
I came in the club minding my own business, and a woman came up to me. She goes, oh my God, Dave Chappelle. And I was just being reciprocally nice. Hey, miss, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, this lesbian fellow stepped between us. Hey, that's my girl. I said, yo, my man, back up like that. She said, I ain't backing up off shit, nigga. That's my girl. I said, bro, you're gonna have to give me 3 feet like this. She said, stop calling me a man, motherfucker. I'm a woman. I said, what? And then I looked deep in his cheekbones. I said, oh my God, you are a woman. I unballed my fist immediately, and I softened my posture so that she would know she's in no danger. I even changed the tone of my voice. I said softly, sweetly, like a pimp might say. Bitch, I'm about to slap the shit out of you.
But before Dave can defuse the situation, she drops into a perfect southpaw stance like she's auditioning for Creed 3.
Oh, I wish I didn't say that. She dropped that foot back. Boop, she was in a perfect southpaw stance. Her shoulders were angled correctly. Her head movement was good. I said, oh no! This box is for real. She threw a wild hook at me, and I saw it coming from yesterday, so I slipped it like this. I had no choice. I had to go to work. I let that jab go. You should have seen me go. I tenderized them titties like chicken cutlets. I whooped the toxic masculinity out of that bitch.
But as dramatic as that club night was, it wasn't his first taste of someone turning a harmless moment into a personal attack. That trend started way earlier.
It's too hard to entertain a country whose ears are so brittle. Everything you say upsets somebody. You know, I can remember when it all started. It was when I was doing Chappelle's show. And there was a couple in the front row, beautiful couple. The wife was obviously Asian. You could see it in her face. The husband couldn't quite pinpoint where he was from. Caramel-colored fella, very nice hair, but it could have been from anywhere. Bangladesh, Mexico. I can't guess with a nigga like this. All I knew for sure about this guy is that his wife was a bitch. He was laughing and having a good time, and she was scowling at me at a goddamn comedy show. I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized at some point that she was pregnant, and I was smoking on stage. I said, oh my God, that's probably why she's mad. So I started to put my cigarette out.
But just when Dave tries to be polite, the woman decides to make her irritation everyone's problem.
But then she hit me with one of them fake non-smoker calls. So I just kept smoking. I thought to myself, that babe will be fine, relax. And I tried to break the tension. I just asked her, that's all I said. I go, hey, where you guys from anyway? And I could tell that she was on to me. She goes, very condescendingly, she says, I'm from California. If you were asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And her husband was just cool about the shit. He was like, I'm Mexican, bro.
He heard the attitude, and he wasn't letting it escape unroasted.
I said, well, I'm sorry if I offended you by asking, but you're a very beautiful couple. And miss, there's no question that you're gonna give birth to the hardest working baby this world has ever seen. She got very upset. She got up to leave immediately. But she didn't just leave. She had to take one last dig at me on the way out. I will never buy one of your DVDs again, Dave Chappelle. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, Chinese people don't buy DVDs.
You'd think that'd be the end of it. But 3 days later, she sends a long complaint letter accusing Dave of racism.
The crowd went crazy. We were all laughing, having a good time. I didn't even think anything of it. And then just 3 days later, this lady sends a fucking letter to my promoter telling him not to book me for shows anymore because I was, quote, racist, and I'm quoting her, insensitive to the nature of my interracial marriage. I was like, word, I was.
She clearly didn't research Dave at all, because the twist ending was brutal.
If she had just done a little bit of research, she would know that I myself am in an interracial marriage. In fact, my wife is Asian too. Surprise, bitch, I'll see you on Thanksgiving.
And this wasn't the last time someone twisted a moment with him. Because next, Dave took aim at one of the biggest scandals in comedy, the Louis C.K. incident, and gave his brutally honest take.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are dark times. New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy. His allegation was the only one that made me, laugh. It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right.
Then he dives into the part of the story that sparked the most backlash.
One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream. Come on, man. That's a brittle spirit.
He also revealed that the whole woke wave might be connected to forces a lot shadier than people assume.
I know it sounds fucked up, I'm not supposed to say that, but one of these ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. You don't know how to hang up a phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams? Remember when I had this really popular show and I quit? I remember I walked away from $50 million. A lot harder than walking away from Louis' freckled dick.
Later on, Dave shifted the spotlight to what he saw as the root of the problem, the Me Too movement.
I can't even say the word Me Too anymore. The nigga tonight was like, Dave, I'm going to the comedy club. I was like, I am also going to the comedy club. And I didn't even know it was happening, but I guess I became like a feminist in the last 3 weeks because I can't watch porn the same. I watch it sometimes, but I can't click on these motherfucking thumbnails, not with those titles. Guy crams young girl in the ass with hard right. I can't click on that. Dude gets sucked off by a midget. Little person, I say to myself. It takes me hours to find one clip. What the hell is this? Marginally groomed feminist enjoys consensual sex with a vaguely homosexual guy with penis the same color as mine. Click.
Dave returned to his old high school after The Closer went viral for all the wrong reasons. Instead of applause, he was greeted by a crowd of teenagers who were furious about his jokes.
These kids said everything about gender and this and that and the other, but they didn't say anything about art. And this is my biggest gripe with this whole controversy with The Closer, that you cannot report on an artist's work and remove artistic nuance from his words. And I gotta tell you, as the years go on, you feel the shots less and less as just a business, is what you say. But that one, that day, boy, that day they hurt me. When I heard those talking points coming out of these children's faces, that really, sincerely hurt me. Because I know those kids didn't come up with those words. I've heard those words before.
His frustration wasn't about disagreement. It was about the total absence of artistic nuance.
The more you say I can't say something, the more urgent it is for me to say it. And it has nothing to do with what you're saying I can't say. It has everything to do with my right, my freedom of artistic expression that is valuable to me, that is not separate from me. And these kids didn't understand that they were instruments of oppression. And I didn't get mad at them. They're kids, they're freshmen, they're not ready yet.
But Dave being Dave, he didn't get defensive. He got philosophical. He compared the controversy to the guy who threw a pie at the Mona Lisa.
About 3 weeks ago, I saw in the newspaper that a man that was dressed in women's clothing threw a pie at the Mona Lisa and tried to deface it. And it made me laugh because I'm like, it's like the closer. I said it to the kids that day, if you have a better idea, then express it, and you can beat me. It's that easy. If you have more talent than me, then display it, and you can beat me with certainty. This is what our genre is about.
The school eventually wanted to name their theater after him. Dave turned it down, not out of anger, but dignity.
So on Friday, I decided that I don't want my name on the school. Hear me out. I'm not gonna say I don't want it. I'm gonna say I'll defer it. Rather than give this theater my name, I would like to give these students my message to them. So it is with great honor that I unveil the new name of this theater, the Gerard Carmichael Theater. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. The Theater for Artistic Freedom and Expression. I want that for myself, and I want it for every student that's educated at this school.
By this point, he's hit Me Too, media, and performative activism. But there's one story that hits closer to home and shows exactly how woke culture uses old mistakes to block new opportunities.
Celebrity hunting season. Doesn't matter what I say, they're gonna get everybody eventually. Like, look, I don't think I did anything wrong, but we'll see. They even got poor Kevin Hart. Can you imagine such a thing? Kevin Hart, let me tell you something. It was Kevin Hart's dream to host the Oscars. That's what he told me. And I remember when he told me, because I was thinking to myself, well, it's an awfully strange dream for an African-American. Kind of dreams of hosting the Oscars. Kevin did, that's who. And he did it. Against all the odds, Kevin became the most famous comedian this world has ever seen, and he got the job that only one black man before him had. And I don't know what you know about Kevin, but I know Kevin Hart is damn near perfect. As close to perfect as anybody I've ever seen. In fact, 4 tweets shy of being perfect.
Then the internet went digging. They unearthed old tweets where Kevin used homophobic language and made jokes that haven't aged well.
10 years ago, Kevin had made some very homophobic comments. And I'm not going to repeat what he said because this is Atlanta. I'm sure there's a lot of gay men here tonight with their wives. All right, I'll tell you what he said. But just remember, these were not my words. These were Kevin's words. Okay, Kevin said that if his little son was demonstrating or exhibiting homosexual behavior around the house, that he'd chastise him. He'd say, hey, that's gay. And then he said he would smash a dollhouse. Ooh, the gay community was furious. And I don't blame them. I got a lot of gay friends, and all of them, 100% of them, all have told me fucking horror stories about the shit they had to go through just to be themselves. Crazy, crazy stories.
But the morality mob wasn't ready for Dave to aim a little heat back at them.
And in all those stories, I gotta say, not one of them has ever mentioned anything like their father smashing a fucking dollhouse over their head. Clearly, Kevin was joking. Think about it. You would have to buy this a dollhouse to break it over his head in the first place. Does that sound right? Is anybody gonna do that?
But the problem wasn't humor. It was timing. The outrage machine needed a target, and Kevin was the headline of the week.
The gay community was upset, and then they put so much pressure on the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences that they went to Kevin and said, if you don't apologize to that community, then you cannot host these Oscars. And then Kevin said, F it, I quit. And then he went on every talk show in America and apologized for 6 weeks.
If you enjoyed this wild ride through Dave's greatest verbal smackdowns, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And trust me, if you think this was intense, the next comedian on our list might just blow your mind. See you in the next one.